The sky was gray, and the wind carried a sharp smell of smoke and rot. Jack, a human scavenger, walked slowly through the giant garbage land. This place was once a big recycling zone, but now it was forgotten. Mountains of trash rose around him, like dead towers. Metal scraps, plastic pieces, and broken machines lay everywhere. The air was dirty, but Jack wore no mask. He was used to it. He came here every week, searching for old tech to sell in the city. Most people never came here. Too dangerous, too sick. But Jack needed money, and this trash was his gold mine. He stepped over a rusted pipe and saw a broken robot arm sticking out of a pile. Just as he bent to grab it, he heard something. A sound. It was soft, weak, almost lost in the wind. "Help!" Jack stopped. He listened carefully. "Please." The voice was shaking, full of pain. It was not coming from a machine. It was human or something close to it. Jack moved towards the sound. He climbed a pile of crushed crates and sharp wires, boots crunching broken glass. The voice came again, clearer this time. "Please, save my daughter." At the bottom of a deep hole, next to a collapsed stack of metal sheets, he saw her. An alien woman. She was lying half buried in garbage. Her skin was pale blue. Her silver hair was dirty and tangled. Her arms were bleeding. She looked like she hadn't eaten in days. Jack jumped down carefully. He stepped closer. The alien woman tried to lift her head but failed. Her lips moved. Again, "My daughter, under the garbage. Please." Jack looked at the pile beside her. It was large, heavy, sharp metal edges stuck out like knives. If someone was under that, they wouldn't survive long. "You want me to dig her out?" Jack asked. His voice was rough, but there was concern in his eyes. The alien woman gave a small nod, and a tear rolled down her dusty cheek. Jack didn't ask more questions. He threw off his backpack and got to work. He pulled off layer after layer broken. Plastics, wires, glass pieces, even dead rats. The smell was horrible, but Jack kept going. He cut his hands, tore his shirt, and sweat poured from his face. But he didn't stop. Minutes passed. Then more. Still no sign of a child. Jack looked back at the woman. Her eyes were closing. "Don't give up," he said to her. "I'll find her." Then suddenly he froze. He saw it, a small hand, covered in dirt, sticking out from under a metal door. Jack's heart jumped. He pushed the door aside with all his strength. It scraped loudly, almost cutting him, but he didn't care. Beneath it was a little girl. She looked maybe 6 or 7 years old. Her skin was light blue, like her mother. Her eyes were closed. Her body was still. Jack touched her neck. Weak pulse but still alive. "She's breathing." He shouted to the mother. The alien woman smiled faintly, her eyes filling with tears. Jack carefully picked the girl up. She was light, too light. Her clothes were torn, her legs bruised, but she was alive. He carried her over to her mother and helped lay them both together. "We need to get out of here," Jack said. "This place isn't safe," the woman whispered. "Thank you, human." Jack looked around. The sun was starting to set. Shadows grew long, and the air turned colder. He knew he had to act fast. This part of the dump was monitored by scavenger drones. If they saw him with aliens, especially a child, they might call the city's military bots. Aliens weren't welcome. Here, not anymore. He pulled a blanket from his bag and wrapped the girl in it. Then he helped the mother sit up, though she cried out in pain. "I can't walk," she said weakly. Jack didn't hesitate. He slung his bag across one shoulder and gently lifted the girl into one arm. Then he bent down and helped the mother lean on him with the other. "I don't know who you are," he said, "but I'm not leaving you here to die." Together, they began to walk, slow and careful, through the piles of trash. Each step was hard. The woman groaned in pain. The girl coughed weakly in his arms. But Jack kept moving. He didn't know why he was helping. Maybe it was the way the woman's voice had cracked with fear. Maybe it was how small the girl looked under all that garbage. Or maybe it was just that Jack was still human. And sometimes being human meant not walking away. Not today. Not this time. Asterisk. The girl wasn't breathing. At least that's what Jack thought when her tiny body stopped moving in his arms. He stared at her. Her small blue face looked cold. Her lips had turned a strange shade of purple. His heart dropped. Maybe he was too late. Then a small cough. So soft, it sounded like the wind. Jack's eyes widened. He looked down. The little alien girl was alive, but only barely. Suddenly, a strange sound buzzed from the sky. Jack froze. He turned his head slowly toward the broken ceiling of the garbage dump. A red light flashed in the clouds above. A scavenger drone. He swore under his breath. These drones weren't here to help. They were part of the city's cleanup system. And they didn't like witnesses. If the drone saw Jack carrying alien refugees, it would report him. Maybe worse. Jack pulled a torn tarp over himself and the two aliens. He crouched behind a pile of trash, holding his breath. The buzzing sound got louder. A shadow passed over the trash. Please keep moving, he prayed. The buzzing paused. A red scanner beam passed right over them. Then silence. Jack didn't move. 1 second. 2, 5. Then the buzzing slowly faded. The drone had moved on. Jack let out a long breath. He looked down at the girl again. She stirred weakly. Her eyes opened for just a moment. Big, deep purple eyes. She looked at him with fear and trust mixed together. Jack whispered, "You're safe, I promise." But he knew that wasn't true. Not yet. Main story development. Jack lifted the girl again and helped the mother to her feet. She was still bleeding, but she gave a small nod. They had to keep moving. He led them through narrow trash alleys. The piles around them leaned like towers ready to fall. Rats ran across their path. The ground squished under each step. It was a world forgotten by time, and now death waited in every shadow. Jack finally stopped when he reached a hidden spot. An old, collapsed transport container. He had turned it into a secret shelter months ago. No one knew about it. He opened the door and guided them inside. It was small, dark and dusty, but dry, safe. For now, he helped the woman lie down on a makeshift bed of blankets and foam. Then he placed the girl next to her, gently. Jack turned on a small lamp. Its weak yellow glow filled the space. The girl started coughing again. This time it was worse. She shook as black liquid came out of her mouth. "What is this?" Jack asked, worried. The alien woman struggled to speak. "Your air. Too dirty for her lungs. Her body is not ready." Jack grabbed a small purifier from his pack. It was old tech, but it still worked. He placed it near the girl's head and turned it on. The light on the machine turned green. The girl's breathing slowed. Her body relaxed. "Is she your only child?" Jack asked softly. The woman nodded, tears in her eyes. "She is all I have. We were hiding. They found us. We ran. I tried to protect her." "Who are you hiding from?" Jack asked. She looked away. "They are called the Hunters. Machines, cold, heartless. They want what's inside her." Jack's eyes narrowed. "Inside her? What do you mean?" The woman didn't answer. Instead, she reached out and touched Jack's hand. "You saved her. I owe you my life." Jack shook his head. "I didn't do it for payment. Still, you are different from the others." Jack didn't reply. His mind was full of questions. Who were the Hunters? What did they want from this little girl? And why did he feel like this was just the beginning? End of Part 2. Cliffhanger. Outside the container, the wind howled again. But now it carried more than just dust. From far away, metal footsteps echoed in the dark. Something or someone was tracking them. The Hunters had begun their search, and this time, they weren't going to leave without the girl. Something was wrong. Jack woke to a strange sound: click, 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 like metal claws tapping against broken glass. He sat up fast. The lamp was still glowing. The alien mother and her daughter were asleep beside him. But outside, beyond the steel walls of the container, he could hear it again: click, hiss, click, not a rat, not wind, something else. He grabbed a small scanner from his bag and pointed it at the door. A red dot blinked once, then turned orange. Movement detected. His blood ran cold. He peeked through a tiny hole in the wall, and his heart dropped. It was here. A hunter. Its body was tall and spider-like, made of dark steel. Long blade-like arms dragged along the trash as it searched. A single red eye glowed at its center, scanning left and right like a demon searching for prey. Jack had seen these machines once before. Back when he was a soldier, they didn't leave survivors. And now, it was only 30 meters away. He turned to the alien woman. "Wake up," he whispered sharply. "We need to leave." Now, main story development. The alien girl stirred. The mother opened her eyes, confused. Jack quickly helped them both up, whispering the whole time. "No sound. No talking. We move." The woman could barely walk, but adrenaline gave her strength. Jack supported her with one arm and held the girl close with the other. Outside the container, the hunter's footsteps grew louder. Jack pushed open the back panel, a hidden exit he had built long ago, and slipped them out into the trash maze. The cold air hit their faces. The hunter was now on the other side of the container. They had one chance. Jack moved fast, guiding them through the dark alleys, between garbage mountains. He took turns quickly, hoping to confuse the machine's sensors. Then beep, a red light flashed behind them. The hunter had scanned something. It knew. They ran. Jack's boots slammed into metal sheets and slippery plastic. The girl gasped for air in his arms. The mother stumbled, but he caught her. Behind them, the hunter screeched. It wasn't a scream of pain. It was a signal. A hunting cry. More were coming. Unique encounter. The tunnel of echoes. Jack knew one place nearby that might give them a chance. The tunnel, he whispered to himself. He reached an old drainage pipe, a narrow metal tunnel that ran deep under the trash zone. No drone or hunter could follow easily inside. He pushed the girl in first, then helped the mother crawl behind. Finally, Jack slid in and pulled a steel lid over the entrance just in time. Inside, it was pitch black. The sound of their breathing echoed, but then clang. A blade struck the outside of the tunnel entrance. They all froze. The hunter had found them. The girl whimpered. Jack put a finger on her lips. The machine scratched the steel with its blade, then paused. For 5 long seconds, there was no sound. Then silence. Had left, or was waiting. Jack didn't care. He pushed them forward through the dark pipe. The tunnel went on for nearly 100 meters. At the far end, it opened into another section of the trash zone, closer to the city wall. When they finally reached the end, Jack helped the woman and girl climb out. They were breathing hard, but alive. The city wall stood tall in the distance. If they could cross it, maybe they could find real shelter. But getting inside wasn't easy, especially with what they were carrying. Cliffhanger per. Ending suspense for part 3. Jack looked down at the little alien girl. Her skin was glowing. Soft pulses of blue light moved beneath her skin, like a slow heartbeat, but not natural. "What is that?" he asked, stunned. The mother stared at her daughter with fear and love. "She's changing. The technology in her, it's waking up." Jack narrowed his eyes. Technology inside her body? The mother nodded. "She's not just a child. She is the key, and they know it." Far behind them, in the distance, a new light rose into the sky. A blue signal shot from the dump straight up into the clouds. The hunters had activated a beacon. They now knew exactly where she was, and they would never stop coming. Asterisk. They found shelter, but it didn't feel safe. Jack pushed open the rusted door of an old train station buried under rubble. Thick dust floated in the air. The walls were cracked, and the lights flickered like dying stars. It had once been a human emergency bunker, long ago now forgotten and hidden beneath garbage. The alien mother leaned against the wall, weak and breathing hard. The girl's blue glow still pulsed faintly under her skin, like a quiet signal only machines could hear. Jack sealed the metal door behind them with broken pipes and heavy tools. He checked the scanner, no heat signatures nearby. For now they were hidden, but his gut said something was wrong. This place was too quiet, too still, like something was watching. Main story development. Inside, the bunker had a few working systems, some lights, one broken heater, and an old medical bot covered in cobwebs. Jack wiped it down and activated it. The machine blinked to life. Welcome, patient. Error. Species not recognized. Jack sighed. Just help her breathe. He pointed to the girl, who was now wheezing again. The medbot scanned her. Its voice turned calm and robotic. Foreign organics detected. Oxygen poisoning. Cell decay increasing. Recommend immediate nanocyte therapy. Therapy unavailable. Jack looked at the mother. She won't survive long like this. The mother's eyes filled with tears. I know. The medbot offered something, a small air capsule. A single shot of purified air for emergency use. Jack placed it over the girl's mouth. She inhaled slowly. Her color returned a little. He sat beside her, holding her hand. I don't know your name, he said softly. The girl blinked at him. Lilia. The mother said. Her name is Lilia, mine is Rena. Jack nodded. I'm Jack. I was a soldier, now just a junk picker. Funny how things change. Rena stared at him. But your heart hasn't. Sudden twist. They're not alone. Jack stood to check the far corners of the bunker. As he opened an old supply locker, he stopped. A movement. A shadow. He raised his light. In the corner. Someone was there. A man, old, thin, with skin like dry paper. He wore a heavy cloak and had wires around his neck like trophies. His eyes were sharp and alive. Jack raised his tool blade. Who are you? The old man didn't move. I've lived here for years, he said. Until you brought them. Jack stepped forward. We didn't mean to take your place. We just need rest. She's sick. The old man looked at Lilia, glowing faintly under the blanket. She's not sick, he said. She's waking up. Jack paused. You know what she is? The man nodded slowly. She's one of the Starburn. A hybrid, bio-woven with living tech. Her blood is a key to the royal memory core buried beneath Earth. If she lives, she can wake the lost fleet. Jack's jaw tightened. That's why the hunters want her. Yes, the man said. And now that signal you triggered. We'll bring more. Jack felt his stomach drop. We'll be gone by morning. The old man stared. It won't matter. They already know this place. Jack turned quickly and began packing. Tension bills. A mother's pleurina pulled Jack close. She won't survive the road, she whispered. And if they catch her again, they'll rip her apart. Jack gritted his teeth. I know. But this place, it's not safe. That man, that warning. Rena looked down at her daughter. I will stay here and buy you time. Take her. Alone. Jack shook his head. I won't leave you behind. She smiled softly. You already saved her once. She trusts you. She needs you now more than me. Lilia's glowing fingers reached out and touched Jack's arm. Jack, she whispered. Her voice was soft and trembling. Don't go without. Mama, the words cut deep. Jack stood, breathing heavy. He stared at the metal door. And then thud. Thud. Outside. Heavy footsteps. They had arrived. The lights in the bunker flickered, then died. Darkness swallowed everything. Jack gripped his weapon tighter. He could hear Rena breathing fast. The girl, Lilia, was awake now but shaking. Her glowing skin flickered like a failing light. Outside. The door. Something dragged its metal body across the bunker wall. Screech. Then silence. Jack whispered. They're playing with us. The old man's voice came from the shadows. No, they're scanning, waiting to see if she activates. Jack turned toward Rena. Activates? What does that mean? Rena looked at Lilia, her face pale. She isn't just a child, Jack. She's something more, something we tried to hide, but now, she's waking up. Main story development. The shocking truth. Jack knelt beside Lilia. Her glowing had grown stronger. Soft blue patterns ran along her skin like veins of light. Her breathing was deep, but calm. Lilia, he said softly. Can you hear me? The little girl slowly opened her eyes. They were no longer scared. They were focused. Clear. Like someone or something else was inside her now. She's sinking, Rena said. The data inside her is waking up. Jack's voice dropped. What data? Rena hesitated, then told the truth. Her father. He was part of the Starburn project. Our people used genetic technology to create living memory systems, hidden inside the bodies of royal children. Lilia has that system. It's not just memory, it's command power, control codes, defense maps, a list of every hidden rebel ship on Earth. Jack's eyes widened. She's a weapon. Rena nodded. A living one. But she doesn't know how to use it. If they capture her, they'll rip it out. They'll destroy everything we still have. Jack stood, fists clenched. Then we won't let them touch her. The attack begins. Boom. A blast shook the bunker walls. Dust rained from the ceiling. Lights sparked. They're breaching. Jack shouted. The old man grabbed a shotgun. They've brought tunnel cutters. We have maybe 5 minutes. Jack rushed to the emergency terminal near the wall. It still had some power. He connected a cable to Lilia's wrist. Her body twitched, but then her glowing stabilized. What are you doing? Rena cried out. I'm scanning her, Jack said. If she has maps, control codes, anything that can help, I'm going to pull it now and send it to someone I trust. Lilia didn't scream. Instead, she sat up straight. Her eyes glowed completely blue. Then she spoke. But it wasn't a child's voice. It was deeper. Older. Accessing memory core. Unlocking encrypted defense network. Command path confirmed. Rena stepped back, gasping. She's never done this before. Jack's screen filled with data, star charts, military symbols, old alien codes. One caught his eye, a small beacon marked in red. It was called Awakening Tower. Jack whispered, That's where we need to go. The choice, escape or fight. The old man came to Jack's side. They're coming through the east wall now. You won't make it far. Jack looked at Lilia, now lying down again, her glow fading slowly. The upload had drained her. Rena placed her hand on Jack's shoulder. Go. Take her to the tower. I'll cover the back. Jack didn't want to leave her, but Rena's eyes were full of peace. I gave her life, she said. You gave her a future. That's enough. The old man opened a tunnel hatch beneath the floor. This will take you into the drainage system. It connects to the city border. If you're fast, you'll escape their scan zone. Jack lifted Lilia into his arms. She was cold, but still breathing. He looked at Rena one last time, then nodded. Thank you for trusting me. She smiled. I didn't. I trusted her. Cliffhanger. The last look as Jack disappeared into the tunnel with Lilia. The bunker shook again. The walls cracked. Rena stood alone in front of the sealed door, knife in hand, tears on her face. The red lights from outside started to shine through the cracks, and then the metal wall exploded. Inward, they had arrived. The girl was gone, and so was their chance to win easily. Far away, in the tunnel, Lilia whispered in Jack's arms. Awakening. Tower, Jack held her tighter. I'm taking you there. No matter what. Asterisk rain fell over the city. Not clean rain, but oily. Dark drops that slid off the metal walls like poisoned tears. Jack ran through the back alleys. Lelia wrapped in an old coat in his arms. Her blue glow was dim now. Her body was cold. She hadn't spoken since the bunker behind him. Sirens echoed, not the hunters this time. Humans. They had seen the beacon. They knew a man had helped an alien child escape. And now he was a traitor. Big red signs appeared on every public screen in the slums. Wanted, Jack Henderson, human sympathizer. Alien smuggler. Armed and dangerous. Jack looked up at one of the screens. It was his face. And right below it, Lilia's. Her eyes glowing. Her little face marked as BIO Weapon Class X. Jack gritted his teeth. The humans had made their choice, but he hadn't made his yet. Main story development. Jack ducked into an old train tunnel near the border wall. The ground was slippery. The metal gates were rusted and heavy, but he pushed through. The tunnel ended at a sealed checkpoint, one of the many closed gates into the outer ruins. Beyond it, somewhere in the wasteland, stood the awakening tower. Lilia stirred. Her eyes opened slightly. Jack, cold. He took off his own jacket and wrapped her tighter. Just a little longer, kid. We're almost there. Suddenly, a voice rang out through speakers. Jack Henderson. This is Central Security. Drop the child and surrender. You will be given a fair trial. Resistance will be punished. He looked up. Drones hovered overhead. Red lights blinking. Dozens of them. He was surrounded. The moral line breaks. A voice came from the shadows behind him. Don't move. Jack turned. A group of human soldiers stood at the gate, rifles raised. At their front was a woman in a clean white uniform, Commander Levi's. She looked calm, cold. Give her to us, she said. She's dangerous. She's alien tech. She doesn't belong here. Jack stepped back. She's just a child. No, Levi's replied. She's a weapon. One day she'll activate, and when she does, our cities will burn. She saved no one, Jack growled. We were the ones burning her kind. Levi's raised her hand. Last warning, Jack. Jack didn't lower Lilia. Instead, he looked up at the drones and shouted, She's not a weapon. She's a bridge. We can still choose to be more than monsters. His voice echoed. Lilia's body started to glow again, but this time, it wasn't weak. It was bright. Too bright. Her eyes opened, fully, and she stood. On her own. Lilia awakens. Blue light spread from her skin into the ground beneath her feet. Symbols lit up in the floor. The gate behind her began to open with a deep rumble, even though it hadn't moved in years. Commander Levis stepped back. What is she doing? Lilia's voice spoke, but it wasn't just her voice, it was hundreds of voices, all speaking through her. We were hidden. We were hunted. But now we return not for war, but for choice. The soldiers looked around, confused. Humanity has feared what it does not understand, but this man, this one, chose to protect, not destroy. Jack looked at her in awe. She was no longer just a scared child. She was something more. Something ancient. Something powerful. Cliffhanger ending for Part 6. Suddenly, above them, the sky cracked open. Not lightning ships, huge alien vessels, uncloaked from the clouds. Silent, watching. They didn't fire. They simply hovered. Waiting. Lilia turned to Jack and whispered, You brought me here. You gave me time. Now the choice is yours. Jack looked at the human soldiers, still aiming weapons. He looked at the sky, at the alien fleet waiting. And then, he stepped forward. I choose peace, he said. Lilia smiled. But far away deep in the earth, the hunters began to dig again. The real war was only beginning. The sky above Earth had never looked like this before. Dozens of alien ships floated in silence like shadows made of glass and metal. No engines roared. No weapons fired. They didn't come to attack. They came to watch. Lilia stood at the center of the old city gate, glowing like a star. Her small body pulsed with ancient blue light. Her hair moved as if touched by invisible wind. Symbols shimmered on her skin. But her eyes were no longer those of a frightened child. They were royal. They were commanding. She looked at the soldiers pointing guns at her, and with just one word, she brought them all to their knees. Stop! Their rifles dropped from their hands. Their minds went blank. Commander Levi's gasped and fell to the ground, gripping her head. What is she? Jack stood beside Lilia, staring in awe. She's the bloodline, he whispered. The one your history books erased. Main story development. The signal of peace, a deep hum filled the air. It came from the ground itself, as if the earth remembered something. Lilia stepped forward and raised her hand. From the distance, a massive ancient tower emerged. Hidden under the ruins for centuries, it now rose, slowly, shining with light. The awakening tower. It wasn't made by humans. It was older than anything. Built on Earth. It responded to Lilia's presence. Rena, her mother, had once told Jack, she is the last who carries the code. The one who can open what we left behind. Now, Jack finally understood. This wasn't just about survival. It was about rebuilding something that was stolen. Blood memory unlocks. Lilia stepped into the center of the tower platform. She placed her glowing hand on the core stone. Suddenly, beams of light shot upward, connecting to the alien ships above. The sky shimmered. A giant hologram appeared, visible to the entire world. It showed the truth. A hidden history. The alien. Starborn were once protectors of Earth, allies of early humans. But greed, fear, and betrayal turned them into hunted prey. Humans had erased their role, calling them invaders. But now, the memory was awake again, and Earth was watching. Jack looked around. People had come, humans from nearby cities, soldiers, drones, all staring at the glowing sky. No one spoke. They couldn't. Lilia turned to them all. I am not your enemy. I carry memory, not weapons. Peace, not war. But peace must be chosen, not forced. Then she pointed to Jack. This human chose it when no one else did. The human decision. Commander Levi stepped forward, weak and trembling. Her voice cracked. She's dangerous. You don't know what she's capable of. Jack walked to her calmly. You're wrong. I do. I carried her when she was coughing. I watched her cry for her mother. I saw her smile when I gave her clean water. She's not dangerous. We are. The crowd stayed silent. Then dashed slowly. One soldier dropped his rifle. Then another, and another. One by one, the humans stepped back from violence. They didn't kneel. They stood down. By choice. Final twist, an emotional ending. But far beneath the city, the last of the hunters dug upward. They had received a kill order long ago, one that no signal could erase. Jack heard the ground cracking. Lilia. Move, he shouted. A hunter burst through the stone, its blade aimed at her back. But before anyone could scream, Rena appeared. Broken, burned but alive, she tackled the hunter from the side, screaming, nitrogen monoxide. The blade cut deep into her chest, but it stopped. Long enough for Jack to grab his weapon and fire. The hunter collapsed. Lilia ran to her mother, glowing hands on her wounds, but Rena smiled weakly. My daughter. You became what I always dreamed, Lilia cried. Please. Stay, please don't go. But Rena's voice faded. I stayed. Long enough to see you rise. She closed her eyes. And was gone. Ending. A new chapter begins. Alien ships above began to move. But not to leave. They slowly descended. Peacefully. To talk. To offer help. To rebuild. Lilia stood in the center of it all, holding Jack's hand. Jack looked at her and asked, what now? Lilia looked at Earth's broken sky and whispered, now we heal together. The camera of Earth rolled across the galaxy that day. The day an alien child, once buried under garbage, became the key to unity. And the human who chose mercy over fear became legend. The end.